Hi. There's enough bird song out there that I think I won't put any music in the background. Maybe you'll catch some of the birds singing. I'm going through a lot of internal changes. How about you? Are you aware of them? I'm not alone in this. But I know it's harder to be aware when life presses in so tightly. I don't wear a wristwatch, and I don't have clocks on the wall. Mostly I don't care what time it is. And that's been fine. It took a while, for a while I kept looking at my wrist. But I just wanted to unplug from that, and so I did. And when I need to know the time, there's a clock on the computer and on the stove. Used to be one on the microwave, but I don't have one of those in the house anymore. So, what is this about time? Beliefs. That's what it is. You think the birds know what time it is on your clock, or care? And that goes for the calendar too. The day of the week, what month, what date. It's something else to unplug from, if you like. And when it's practical and necessary, that's fine. If you've got to show up at 8 a.m. Monday through Friday, that's fine. But in your own private life, on the weekends, whenever you can, maybe don't wear the watch. What we're doing when we look at that is we're locking ourselves into a matrix. And it's phony. It's nothing but beliefs. And I find no real virtue in it. Personal virtue. As I said, it's useful and it's practical for certain communal things that we do. I'd like someone to show up for an appointment on the right day, at the right time, at the right place. I mean, it's useful for that. But that's when we're needing to be in the matrix to function there. If you want to connect with your soul, let it go. That doesn't help you connect with anything that's real. Let it go. It's not important. You want to know when a TV program is on? Well, now, I have no sympathy for that. And for that matter, my suggestion around the TV is to get, I think they call it a DVR, to set it to record the programs that you like. Don't watch them live. If you're watching live, you're plugging in to a mass consciousness of all the other people watching them live, first of all. And second of all, then you're subject to the commercials. Whereas if you pre-record things, you can fast forward through those. And with the DVR service, you can also pause a live program that you're watching if the phone rings or if you have to get up and go to the bathroom. And it's good to pause it, even when you're watching live, because then when the commercial comes up, you can fast forward through it. Just, something to consider. Not that I recommend TV watching at all, but you know, different strokes. And we're all at different places. And wouldn't it be a sad day if all the birds in the forest only sang the top 10 tunes? So follow your bliss, not mine. Follow your bliss. Things to unplug from. New ways of looking at life. That's a song I sing a lot. This calendar thing is so phony. Just the whole basis of it. I still recommend that everyone watch at least one of the videos, the lectures by Ian Lungold that you will find on anMajix.com, M-A-J-I-X. And I'll probably put a link in the text companion that goes with this video. Those things are going their own way these days. One never knows. But he'll show you right from the beginning of his lectures what is a calendar. And after you watch one, you'll have a much better sense of how it's a matrix that we've been locked into. And again, it has practical, functional uses, or we never would have allowed ourselves to be trapped into it. But we can work both sides of the coin here and have the adaptability to work within that and use it. And on the other hand, to completely step out of it in our own time. And when you're doing this, chances are pretty good, you know, you're going to miss an appointment or a show or something. Let it be no big deal. We get too identified with the body, with the form, and with the experience here. And that potentially takes a good deal of the fun out of our experience. We're meant to be enjoying ourselves. And I'm living proof that joy is the motor of life, that joy can be there even in the midst of sorrow and pain. There's an undercurrent of joy, and I don't want to try to define it, to say where it comes from or what it is, or is it you, or whatever. You know, forget all that stuff. There's just an undercurrent of joy. Just plug into it. It's real, it's alive, it's always accessible and available. It's kind of quiet, like the still small voice. And the thing is, it's like that switchboard, you know, the vision of the old operators and all the plugs and the lights and the wires and all that stuff. When we're plugged in to so many things, we're not accessible to joy. We're not available to it. We're spending all of our energy everywhere else. We're so totally distracted that we're not at home with ourselves. And so that's to be identified with things. That's to be so poured into and plugged into the matrix that you're not self-aware, because you're pouring all of your awareness into those things. Now, ultimately, everything is the self, but, you know, let's not go there for now. It really just helps to unplug from time. I wake up when I wake up. If I have a doctor's appointment, I have to go get a little wind-up clock that I use and set it. If I was unlucky enough to have to be up in the morning, if I'm up in the middle of the night, then that's what that is. I sleep when I want, I wake when I want, and I know that's a tremendous luxury. And I know most people won't be able to unplug that far, But maybe I'm here and I'm doing this so I can report to you what I find, so you can apply it as you can apply it in your own life and be aware of the potential that's there. So make use of me. Envy is not a good thing, because I am you. And if you want my experience, be in your heart. You can have that. We exchange energies every time you watch one of these videos. We're flowing into one another. I'm sensing you guys all of the time. Sometimes I hear questions or comments and I respond to them, and it becomes a part of the video. In a way, it's a conversation. And remember, the message is, the real message isn't the words. It's the energy, higher self to higher self here. So this morning, I'd finished my coffee and I was sitting here, supposedly in silence. The birds decorate my silence a good bit. And I wondered, what time is it? What time had I arisen? I knew it wasn't dawn. The sun was too bright, but I didn't know the time. And as I reached over to check the computer clock, higher self pulled me back. Or a guide, whatever, I don't know, intuition, and said, you don't need to do that. And as I sat there, I realized that even in my state, and it's been a long time now, I mean, maybe not as much as a year, or maybe so. Time isn't something I'm good with, because I've really unplugged from, I don't know why, because I'll make two statements. Time isn't something I'm really good with, and I've unplugged a lot from it. The because link, I can't vouch for that. But I realized as I followed the intuition and pulled back and didn't look, that even by doing that, I was plugging myself in to an unnecessary matrix, or into the matrix unnecessarily. What benefit is there in it? What the heck does it matter what time it is? Like I said, do the birds care? It's day or it's night. You're hungry or you're not. You're sleepy or you're not. And if we want to plug into Mother Earth, we're not doing it with our watches and our clocks and our calendars. We're really not. The Mayans were not tracking anything mechanical, like revolutions of a planet around a star. They were more plugged in to source, to the ray of energy that projects this world that we see around us. Like I say, watch one of those Ian Lungold lectures. He's got this really good. He's one of the ones that I used as a guide initially to help unplug from the current concept and understanding around time. We didn't always have this. This was something that was forced on us. There were literally millions of native peoples around the world that were killed over enforcing the Gregorian calendar and the whole way of thinking that goes with it. Tribes were not allowed to have their native ways. Their native teachings were burned. They weren't even allowed to speak their native languages, wear their native dress. All of that was stripped from them. That was natural. That was connected to earth. That was not allowed. This was earlier enforcement of the matrix upon the consciousness of people. And now it's what they want. It's spread around the world. And we have these time zone things and all of that. And as I say, for practical reasons, there's nothing wrong with using them. It's not that they're evil or anything. It's not like that. It's just that they're a matrix of control. They funnel us into a certain way of perceiving and of being. And it exerts a control on our consciousness. And it's all based on belief. So I thought I might do, and might is the operative word here, a series of videos, each one presenting a belief to have a look at, to examine, to look at it in yourself, and to see how it controls your life, or how you let it control your life, how it's found a way to take the control from you, to take you out of the driver's seat in your own life, and to make you subject to something. And just to present the concept, the idea that, hey, that's optional. You don't have to buy into that. And so together we can disidentify. We can step back more and more and watch and observe in self. Try a day, maybe a weekend day to start out without your watch. I mean, especially you people who are retired or maybe disabled like this body is, and so you don't have to punch the time clock. You know, why are you wearing a watch? It's not good for you, you know. I mean, unless it's a wind-up watch. I have read that the quartz crystals are not compatible with the energy, the biological force field of energy. And it's just one more mechanistic thing. Our biology trumps technology any day. We have electromagnetic being all our own. And almost all of our technology is not compatible with that. We'll be finding out shortly just how we don't need this technology. But again, for the moment, it's useful. So whatever you do, enjoy. It's something else to unplug from, if you like. When it's practical and necessary, that's fine. If you've got to show up at 8 a.m. Monday through Friday, that's fine. But in your own private life, on the weekends, whenever you can, maybe don't wear the watch. What we're doing when we look at that is we're locking ourselves into a matrix. There used to be one on the microwave, but I don't have one of those in the house anymore. So, what is this about time? Beliefs. That's what it is. You think the birds know what time it is on your clock or care? And that goes for the calendar too. The day of the week, what month, what date, when life presses in so tightly. I don't wear a wristwatch, and I don't have clocks on the wall. Mostly I don't care what time it is. And that's been fine. It took a while, you know, for a while I kept looking at my wrist. But I just wanted to unplug from that, and so I did. And when I need to know the time, there's a clock on the computer and on the stove. And it's phony. It's nothing but beliefs. And I find no real virtue in it. Personal virtue. As I said, it's useful and it's practical for certain communal things that we do. I'd like someone to show up for an appointment on the right day, at the right time, at the right place. I mean, it's useful for that. But that's when we're needing to be in the matrix to function there. If you want to connect with your soul, let it go. Hi. There's enough bird song out there that I think I won't put any music in the background. Maybe you'll catch some of the birds singing. I'm going through a lot of internal changes. How about you? Are you aware of them? I'm not alone in this. But I know it's harder to be aware.